Hello, this is your Gerald Johan van Waas. I'll tell you the difference between my system of balance that I have based upon the Pythagorean order of letters, which shows you a balance of how we actually think in words that are built upon this kind of order. There's an order in it which is a numerical order and which is a logical order. This logical order I have systematically brought into a theory or transformed into a theory that it can be used practical, but there's also a logic behind it that and a tendency behind it that we use it in a certain way, that we are thinking in a certain way because we use this logic. The Arabic language uses a different balance in sounds. They also have a few different sounds compared to, for instance, the Roman-based letters languages which use these letters, and this balance is also reviewed and is also changed into a theory and theorized by someone called Ibn'Arabi from the 13th century already, from the Andalusian period. And I have already reviewed this theory from various angles. I will add another angle in this video so that it's an addition this time. And I have already reviewed here a little bit the colors and some of the I show you here in colors how this system is actually showing a certain balance. And I will compare these balances, and I will show you also how this balance is built up and how it reflects itself towards the world, and which sounds. The original study was done by Ibn'Arabi with an Islamic inspiration, so the way how this whole system of Islam is built up in a Sufi way. He compared it to how the letters are inspirations and are inspiring to make it more aware how this way of thinking is also comparable and compatible to what the Islam is teaching. And I have already reviewed it a few times, this theory, in two of my books. So the first time I have given us an overview in the yin and yang balance in my book The Changeling of Seasons, and there I have already show you how they from where it comes from and how this balance is using an astrological background to show you this order. And the second time that I have I continued with this study is in the application of the word, so in the second part of sound in form, where I also go deeper into the letters themselves. All of that is based upon the things that I found in mystical astrology according to Ibn'Arabi by Burkhardt, a very small book but a very interesting book which also explains these things. I explain it differently, but I have a small review also how I see it and how I see it in perspective of the letters. There's a new book out as well, which I haven't reviewed yet, and that is called The Written World of God, the Cosmic Script and the Art of Ibn'Arabi. And there's a scheme in there which shows you how the balance is between the Arabic letters. And this balance is a balance of the four elements: earth on top, air, fire and water. And I will compare to my system, which is the logic of letters in my system is based upon three regions. And these three regions are space in a way, but it's most comparable to matter, actually. It's more space in the sense of spatial orientation in a physical world, so what we see, so, and that we focus upon everything which is very material, very much materialized, very much focused. So in that way it is, although I explain it here as space, it is about focusing upon matter. This is followed up by the processes of time, where all the movements are. It's in the green part, and it ends with the space-time context. The last couple of letters are categorized there. That provides us context, all the general rules actually that apply there and that are found there, and all the letters are organized in that one, and they are compatible. And I've used for Earth the color blue, because I also use it always as that rationalized foundation into the objective focus in space, and matter is here then used for matter itself, or Earth, so it uses as blue. Green is used because that's the progress, so that's what it is growing, like nature, it's growing. Fire is here as yellow, which I also use a lot of times when you exceed something, that you say, okay, I have something extra here, I can use the color yellow also to highlight something that I find something new. And water I will here then show you as light blue. It's a choice, but the choice is also showing that correct kind of balance. The letters are comparable to the two regions that are related with actually a focus upon Earth. Is for our system is ATKULBCMX, are the 3 times 3 letters for my spatial orientation. For the Arabic language, it starts in M, although the balance is driven by the aleph, or the sound. So you have the M as the first sound, followed by the T and TH, B and D. It is compatible in that way with the M, with the T and with the B. They're also from the same category. And what is actually used in the system of Ibn'Arabi, order of letters of the Arabic script, is that it is very much a conceptual start of rules that you have to deal with to make it a good order, so that you come to a good order. It's on the level on the top level, so it is on the same level as context as well. So it's using a context, it has a background of context, and we use the context when it's needed. Here it's necessary to start from this context. So we have a theory in the background where you have to start from. For us, in the Roman script, we use it simply with a as an actual starting point. We use an actual starting point and we see where we go. So it's a little bit more in freedom. Yeah, with Aleph there's no freedom, there is a restriction, as I will show you in a minute. And it's a restriction because the system also tells you the Aleph is more comparable to actually a doubtful idea, because where we live here on Earth, it's not heaven on earth, it's more a situation which is a dangerous situation where you have to take care that you're doing the right things. You do not do that automatically. So we are in a kind of state of purgatory where you have to be careful not to do anything wrong. That's the idea that is behind it. And that Aleph is that intersection ruler in that whole system, which will filter actually our mindset so that we actually do the right things. Very different from in the Roman script, in the Western way of thinking. The A is just starting, and they will perform its experience. It can be a good experience, bad experience. You can go into the right direction or in a bad direction. It doesn't matter. The conditions also, like here in let's say in Europe, let's say now, when you have these languages based upon, there is a balance in nature because of the 4 seasons. We don't have to be careful too much in summer. It's not too hot. It's not too cold in winter. It's all quite balanced, so we can also relax and have a go. Just have an experience, and we balance it out. It's there for a reason. It's different in the conditions in a hot climate. You have to be careful. You're more careful, because if you're not doing the things well, they will not grow well. You will suffer. So you have to focus upon that doubtful thing is because the time is short. The time is short to get the things right. So you have to focus very much onto the materialization process and to the reality, how the things are really materializing. Hence the first letter M, which is about the full materialization of everything, which is followed by T, the distinction. The same thing in the Western system. We start by experience. What do? We use our distinction. We focus upon what is certain. What will happen with freedom is, of course, that at a certain point the things will not work out well. So some things will not work out well, and so you have to have a relativation stage at some point. The K will be the doubtful moment, which will follow immediately after. So you have a stage where you have the full freedom. Start with to show and see the certainties in T, and so you have to balance it a little bit out. But okay, you have these doubtful moments already, which will be followed by taking out the moments that are taking out the things that are certain enough in the U. What we'll do will be done in the system, in this Islamic and Arabic system. What will be done there? So you follow the materialization process. You try to follow your distinctions. And these distinctions have to be given a context. That's why the T is there. So they have to be given a context, because simply making distinctions, you don't have the ability, the system says you don't have the ability on your own to trust whatever you try to distinct. It's not always correct, so you have to find context before B, the material is sure that it can grow, and it can be given a certain time in D. This is already given a little bit context, but it's already the next stage, this doubtful Aleph, into the 4 into this balance, which really will show you what you need to do. But first, our Western system. So we give it a go in A, we make a distinction in T, we doubt again in K. Then the next stage is, okay, let's go forth with what works already, what is already most certain, not what we think is certain. So we gave it a relative state, and the U is what is most certain at that moment. We let it grow with L, and it grows in B. And in the end, what will be the result? We will have a selective starting point in C, so that we have all the material that goes to all the directions, and in X we will see how workable that is. So we give it again a relative state. So we have a certain freedom. It's not the same thing in that Arabic language system. No, we look at the materialization, we try the distinctive, but we have to look for context, which we don't have at this moment, before we can give it a growth and give it a certain time that we can let it develop. And now comes the formula, how we have to do that. Because with that formula, which is that formula, is of course driven by this aleph, the intermediate doubtful moment will give it a balance. It is used as a filter. So how is this filter used and why is this filter used? I said it already. In the Western languages, let's say, all is in balance. Even in the Eastern languages, it will be the same thing. The balance is very important. But further down, where it's too hot to give everything the time, we cannot give everything air immediately. Like we cannot give it oxygen immediately. We're not sure if it will have a growth immediately. The water isn't also not there very much. So these are conditions are sparse or rare. So there's no immediate growth, and also because at the other balance, fire and air, the fire and all the element of fire can be very destructive. This fire can be imagined or interpreted in various ways. It's not just the fire of the heat; it's also the fire of your instinctive way to focus with to focus on conflict. That's what I wanted to say. If you have doubt, it's a conflicting situation. If you focus upon conflict, it's a dangerous situation. This fire can be destructive. We know also that you always talk about a religion of peace, but it's actually quite based upon a situation where it deals with the situation of the war thinking, of the conflictual thinking, which tries to solve it here in this Sufi way, because you have to deal with it, with this situation, that it can happen, that is, conflicts can happen. The conflict's already there in this doubtful moment. Where that comes from, probably not only in that kind of situation, but of a certain situation. It's one of the causes how the balance of Arabic is built out and is worked out. But okay, let's make that balance now. So let's focus on how this balance is used. You can see it already in my previous schemes. The letter K. K is about doubt, also like we already had it, ATK, that was doubt. The sound K is about doubt, but the sound Aleph, or all the throat sounds, are actually beneath it. It's in the throat, it's even before the doubt is there, so it is reflecting on doubt. So it's not more that kind of basis of where you, so it's like think twice before you act. It's not just having a doubt and immediately come to a conclusion. No, think twice, think three times maybe even, and think about what others maybe who knows better know what to do in such a situation, because you don't have that much time to make a decision. So let the decisions be made by those who had already an experience, and that will be done to the sound, and the throat sounds are all about what is the critical thinking before the rational thinking, actually before the rational thinking is able to do something. And the colors are there as well. Instead of that, you have that immediately solution in colors. There's this disbalance, which is expressed by this purple, and the red is like the emotion. This region, which is an intermediate region, gives it more the time, so that you have to give it more time before you have the full conclusion, before you have the full cycle in its full force, that you can have a balanced out situation, that you understand the balance. What is the nature actually of the throat sound? You have also within the throat sounds, you have a yin and yang balance in it. The first negative thing, so the negative part, is actually the reflection of the disturbing sounds of it, let's say, which are associated with S of the high vibrations, the negative ones. So the negative aspects are actually the negative possibilities that have to be transformed for first. The end effect, the S end effect, has to be transformed first towards the future via this whole process before they are released from the negative parts. So and then you have on the other hand the positive thing, so accept the reflection of the higher frequencies that are there, and the K is the doubtfulness. You have also the breath itself, the breath sounds, all the positive conclusions, and the positive conclusions are also in a reflection reflected as what do we have from the past, that we can reflect from the past, that we learned already from the past before it can, what was already positive actually in the past. All these sounds that are related with H are reflected to that before you can have that green part in a total freedom of let's go, let's have a freedom and let's have it all developed. No, it has been developed in the past. Let's reflect on that first. What was positive and what are the dangers of what can go wrong? This balance is being thought over before you have the even the freedom to do something here with the balance in these letters. So what did we learn? It is again, of course, this doubtful rational system in K, which we also had already in our Western system. ATK is actually, we give it a go, we distinct something, and we doubt it a little bit. So also there we had a doubt when we started from A, but this doubt is more like, okay, let's see what we can use and how well we can use, until we see how well it works. So that was for us, of course, much more easy to perform in the balance, the yin and yang balance of the Arabic system. The letter Aleph as A is in that place. So I'll show it to you, which was, of course, the doubtful warning before the progress can happen. And what is the progress? The progress of growth is the green part. Have a balance between two letters. You have the letter B, which is like physical growth as well, so the physical growth as well, and the TH, which is more like the spiritual growth, or the other balance of growth. So the growth, how you can grow conceptually, so you can grow physically and can grow conceptually, they are related there. So and the TH was already there on top. So after the T, the distinction with TH, you have, of course, the idea that fire can be used positively only when we deal with these warnings and these ideas, what is good physically and what is good spiritually in your mindset. If you know these things, what will work on that level, you can do something with it. And that's the D which will follow after that. The H is a letter that is in the Arabic system is on the right side, so it's in the fire side, it's in the middle. It's that for us, it's the conceptual. It's the conceptual. It's about the conceptual balance of what works well in a general context, in a general rule. So also that is comparable. And how is that done? Also with the yin and yang. The yin and yang is like R and L, also two sounds that in the East are almost equal. For us, the R is what is really connecting in general, and L is in the blue part, which is forming actually physically. So what shapes? So in other words, the H is what is positive in progress, is what will be able to connect in R, and what will be able to shape itself in L. And you have two extra letters D also so that you can see you can time your process and you can renew your process in D and Y. It's very quickly, because you can meditate on this kind of balance. All the letters are in this kind of balance. This is the kind of balance that is underneath it as a system. This is only, of course, for people who really want to get to know the letter balance system of Ibn'Arabi and see it from a different perspective, but I can also compare it to my system. What is the yin and yang balance in both letter-based systems? What kind of balance is used there? And so when you use that any of these languages, you will also deal with that balance. You have to think in a different way, and it's good to know that this is lying behind. Okay, I hope it was clear enough. This is the first time that I brought this, and the first time that I put it down, and I hope it was already clear enough. Okay, thanks again for watching. Bye.